Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to In the North Bank Newsroom. It's going to be a slightly extended edition today. We're going to take our time and go through things, get it done slowly, and really walk through everything that's happened around Arsenal over the last, certainly a few days, a couple of weeks since I was last on. If you're watching this later on, it's pre-recorded, but as I say, at 6 o'clock in the morning, not too many of you are going to be kind of tuning in at this point. I'm away. I'm about to head off onto work and then back home again. But I hope you're going to have a good start to the day through the morning as you all kind of get up and get working, and we roll on to the weekend. If you're going to listen on the move, thanks for taking us with you. There's been lots of noise, a lot of reaction, a lot of emotion. My aim today is kind of to provide a bit of clarity, what's actually happened, what it means, and where Arsenal are heading next. That's my plan. Obviously, the big news: Arsenal are heading to Wembley. And after a fantastic display at Stamford Bridge, we saw us come away with the advantage. It could have been bigger. We all know that. But over two legs, we had control, not chaos, which was probably very welcome, I think, as an Arsenal fan. I think for so long we've kind of lived with a large part of chaos, I think, in the way we play, and there wasn't that kind of control. There wasn't that kind of like level of being able to just run through games. Look, that Stamford Bridge game, we gave them a couple of goals, which made it look very close when in reality we could have been high and dry 4-1. It could even been 5-1, I think, in the grand scheme of things. I had an opinion where I said about, look, if it was David Raya in goal at Stamford Bridge, we probably don't concede those two goals. Look, Kepa needs game time. I get that. But as I say, he come in and look, goalkeepers make errors, mistakes, misjudgments. It is what it is. And look, I want to see everyone play. I want to see game time. But when you look at this stage of the season, play your best team as much as you can. If you're playing your full strength team on pitch, why play your reserve goalkeeper? It's one of those I think about it. Going into the second leg, he'd done nothing wrong, and it was, like I said, a measured, controlled display in that second leg, and look at it tactically. Look at the discipline over performance. Look, we didn't have to create chaos, create drama. As much as the media and all of everyone kind of watching on their TV sets, the neutrals, Arsenal are boring. They need to come out. They need to take more risks. Absolute nonsense, and it's been called out. I mean, I've been listening to Terry Flewers and the Football Terrace. Going to be some interesting stuff, I think, coming from us regards to that, because there's been some really good stuff from Terry where he's kind of really kind of debunking this kind of narrative about the hate of Arsenal and the media just trying to lump on us. So stay tuned for that. That'll be really good. But look, I think it's a real sign that the squad is maturing very well against those kind of earlier year teams in the early stages of Arteta. Obviously, an identity, getting that kind of through to everyone. Now having the squad depth. I mean, this squad is unbelievable. And I'd go as far as saying it's probably the best squad in terms of all-round quality that we have had for, well, it's harsh to say about even say in the Wenger days, but as I say, those title-winning teams, the double-winning teams, we had a great kind of nucleus of players. But again, look, that when you get to the squad, it is a little bit weak. But I think we were on our strongest squad in terms of depth, in terms of quality on that side. So I think it's looking really rosy for Arsenal as a fan, and I'm actually loving it. So yeah, I don't think it was over celebration. That's my opinion. I mean, look, if you can't celebrate in football, and this is what I'm saying, we'll talk about this celebration, please. If you can't celebrate a last-minute winner against a big London rival, a rival that has put many a thorn in our backsides through the years, whether it's on pitch or off the pitch. Yeah, there's a lot of rivalry on that side. And it was something off our backs, I think, as well, in terms of relief that we've actually got over the line from these semi-finals that we've kind of failed in. And to get to a major final is the next step for the project, for the group of players. Can we then take it on to the next stage? I mean, look, a proper job focused mentality. I mean, and again, it sums up Arteta in how he handles stuff and deals with stuff. And look, he rubs people up the wrong way because, look, he is passionate. He does talk a lot of sense. There's a lot of cryptic kind of stuff. There's some interesting kind of methods, but it's working. And I can't get why people aren't getting behind him massively. I mean, there's portions of the fan base that are just sharpening up daggers for the next time either we drop points or something bad happens. That's not supporting your football team. I mean, I've been through some bad times, the worst times of my life supporting Arsenal. Been lucky enough to watch Arsenal win those titles, win the doubles, win the Cup Winners' Cup, win the league at Anfield, 1989. I've seen us do stuff other fans can only dream of. And yeah, we've had to suffer. And now look at this. Yeah, we've got to finish it off. We've got to complete this part of the story. But how can you be negative about this at this moment? So yeah, look, job well done. And yeah, we roll on. It didn't feel like it was a young Arsenal side. hoping for something to happen in that tie. I think we really have got a totally different outlook, and fans as well have a different outlook. There's no fear. I mean, you could probably choose anyone to come up against, and we now basically saying on our day we will beat anyone. Yeah, we would take anyone on, and that's in Europe, as we've seen with this the league stage. 8 wins out of 8, go away to tricky places, do the job. So, yeah, expectation now to get through in these big games, and something that has been very, very nervy kind of feeling. I think certainly when you got to those kind of these parts where we were looking at playing, say, like the bigger teams, I think we're now starting to kind of believe in ourselves and our quality. That is a shift. That's how I feel. It's not just accidental. It is a shift in how we are. And I said this is the first year. I said this early in the season. I said it's the first year that Arteta's had now where you could compare him to a Pep Guardiola. And I'm talking about the comparison of he has got the squad of a Man City 4 years ago. I mean, we weren't expected to challenge for the Premier League. No one or no Arsenal fan in their best minds would have said that we were ready to make the jump up to second place the first 2 times. Yeah, maybe the first one. Or, sorry, not the first one. But, yeah, after seeing the year before, didn't believe that we'd kind of almost match up and go again. But it's one of those where you just look at it and just think he has done really well to assemble the squad. And it isn't as easy as just get a few players in. There's got to be outgoings. There's got to be other teams wanting to sell the players for the right money. Have we got into the deal early enough? Have we been too late? You know, there's lots of little things that are going on, and with the money that's been chucked around and banded around on targets that we've had as well, it has caused problems. And not all the players that we probably wanted to get have obviously come to Arsenal. But you've got to take what comes in and what we can get over the line. And look, he's done this. He's assembled a squad now that we can be so proud of as fans. And that's what I say about just getting behind them, back them every game. They need us, need a 12th man, get those points at home. The home games are going to be massively important now through to the end of the season. I mean, that's almost helping us win that title straight by just those. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting few weeks, I would say. But yeah, just want to talk about the final. Obviously, back at Wembley, Arsenal versus Man City. And look, I've been lucky enough to see FA Cup final and a semi-final against Man City. Obviously, we had Chelsea and Man City, didn't we? Either way, didn't we? We had, I think, Chelsea in the semi-final and then Man City in the final. with Alexis Sanchez, and then the reverse the following. So yeah, been privileged to watch us lift trophies at Wembley, but look, we know they are familiar opponents, and familiar stakes now in regards to the game. It's not really revenge. It's about our growth as a club. Look, I think advantage at home plays big. I mean, they park the bus away at the Emirates. It's going to be very interesting to see what we do come. I think it's April is we play them. Five games from the end of the season, and how we approach that is going to be very interesting. But this final is going to be an interesting one, just in general, because obviously, a month before that game, you've got this coming up. It's a chance to almost put your flag down in the sand and just literally put your stake out for it. Can we get over the line? Look, Arteta, Guardiola, teacher versus student. Is it the last time? Is it the last final they're going to be facing each other? Talk about Pep obviously not signing a new contract or leaving before his contract end as well at the end of the season. It's going to be. There's lots of interesting things going to be, but again, it's not about rewriting history. Look, we haven't won the competition since 1993. Yeah, so it's not about that. It's just about writing our next chapter. Yeah, we've got a direction. It's now, where does this new chapter take us? And this is the first step. Just going into, or something for the chat anyway, how confident are you all going into that final? Honestly, let us know in the chat, in the comments, on the stream. Let us know. It'd be interesting to see how we all feel. So, yesterday, Carabao final tickets were released, or the details were released, and it was interesting. Look, there was a big song and dance about the whole kind of the stages, the sales windows, etc. And I was reading Twitter kind of in a little bit of meltdown about it, but then I looked at it and I'm privileged. I'm lucky. I'm in the first window. Yeah, I'm a season ticket holder. Yeah, I've been into Europe. Went to Port Vale and finished it up with Stamford Bridge. I'm privileged. Yeah, I'm one of a fair few, a small few, but we've got the first dibs on the tickets. My friends, everyone else who I go football with and have lots of time talking about Arsenal are in the second. But it's the old adage where you go to Wembley and we get an allocation of under 32,000. And that, even if you've got two teams that are well supported, will sell out their allocations in a 90,000 seat stadium, is crazy, isn't it? You just look at it. 32,000, 64 going to both teams, and I don't know if I'm not sure if Man City's is the same. I imagine it should be the same, but I know we will sell ours. I don't think Man City will sell them, and I hope if they don't sell them, they actually go to fans of the other team. I don't want them to go to neutrals. That needs to be 100% confirmed. I'm sure it happens, but I'd like to make sure that is, and as many people get to watch their team. I don't like the 24, 25 odd thousand tickets going to neutrals for finals. Yeah, look, all right, they pay money, the club Wembley stuff and etc. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, it isn't about them coming to enjoy another game at Wembley. A large majority of them are pimping them out at the cost of the real fans. So the real fans that have been struggling to get tickets through their clubs are resorting to illegal ways of getting tickets. Some successfully, some unsuccessfully, as we've seen with the touting and with, the scams. You know, I'm lost for words that people do get caught up in them. Some are very, very easy to see. A large majority are easy to see, and people get caught up in it. Whether or not it's just the will and the want to get it, to make believe that it's true, it's good, and people are blindsided by it, and that's the saddest thing about it. And I hope one day it resorts to more of a fairer spread across allocations, and it's something that probably does need to be looked at, because it's not right, I don't think. Certainly when you look at it like that with regards to our season ticket holders. So it's going to be an interesting one, but I'll break it down anyway. Obviously about 5 o'clock, I think it was, they released it. And I'll go through now. So I'll just have a quick switch over, I think, here. Yeah. So obviously the first window, platinum season ticket holders meet their utilisation target of 22 fixtures, and GA season ticket holders who utilised their season ticket for at least 13 out of 16 or 10 out of the 12 of the applicable games so far. That means either you've attended, say, 2 Carabao Cup games, and that was obviously Port Vale or Chelsea, or have 10 away credits. I'm on 9 away credits as well. I'm going up, but not quickly enough. So that's the first window. You've got a nice kind of period of 2 days to make your purchase. The second one, again, it's all other season ticket holders. Again, meet their utilisation targets, the ones that are ever present, that are turning up. Not the ones that potentially leave their seat empty, unsold. I think those numbers are becoming few and far between now. But yeah, something had to happen, I think, for them anyway. When we talked about the club and the initiative, yeah, look, they're under massive pressure to provide tickets for the members, but it's just crazy. But yeah, sales window 2, you will enter a ballot, and if you go in as a group, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and one of you gets rejected, you're all rejected. So yeah, it's a little bit of a change. So yeah, I'm kind of torn. I'd like to sit with my mates, but I don't want to wait to sales window 2 and go into a ballot that I might not win or be successful. I have to take my ticket in sales window 1 to guarantee me a ticket. But that's changed. As it used to be, the ballot, I was like, there was a funny one. The Aston Villa final, 2018. Was that 2018? But anyway, I'd put a group ballot in for, I think it was 8. I think there was 8 tickets at the time, and I was the lead applicant, and I'd gone through and got all the bits sorted on the network and made the application, and I was the only one unsuccessful out of the 8. So I received all the tickets, but I didn't have one myself. Being a man of honour, I stuck by that, and I had a great moment at the Emirates with family and my late auntie watching Arsenal together. Something I cherish. But yeah, we won it, and it was really good. But I would suggest, I personally would say, I would probably look at just going in as a single person for the ballot. It means, yeah, look, you're not all going to be maybe say together as a group, but I think it guarantees you. Well, it doesn't guarantee you. Obviously, there's going to be around 8 to 10,000 season ticket holders that will be disappointed because yeah, they're unsuccessful. There's just not enough to go around. But yeah, you'll either be successful, but you'll also potentially be on standby as well. So if there are any kind of remaining people that might go through to a window 3 or not, but yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do it, but I know a lot that are having to do it, and yeah, it's frustrating. Okay, just having a look quickly. Hold on. One other thing as well is also the tickets are going to be electronic as well, so they're going to be available via the Arsenal app to add to your phones. But as I say, I would 100% make sure you stick with the proper channels for tickets. Yeah, be careful out there. There's lots of people that are preying on your want to support your team. So, yeah, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So, Be very careful. But good luck, Gooners, in the ballot. I hope you get your tickets and get to see the final. But yeah, it is going to disappoint people, unfortunately. But it is what it is. What is the next point? Oh yes, that's it. Yeah. Oh, the Chelsea Matt Rossini. Oh. I mean, it's a stranger talking point coming off the back of the semi-final, and it was before the kickoff. And I mean, you get, say, psychological games at elite level. We no longer say apologising for overconfidence, blah blah blah, or I just think there's a difference between arrogance and authority. Yeah, look, we turned up there. We're at home. I don't know. I don't class it as Arsenal crossing the line. I mean, he's come out and he said it was lack of class or whatever, or etiquette. It's like football etiquette. I mean, goalkeepers and their goal kicks, or they come over and they go into the other half. It happens. I don't think there's massively any kind of real drama on it. I just think the guy's just out to try and make some form of statement, chuck his 2p worth into the big old kind of the hate fest against us, and again, media outlets will bite on it, and they'll keep biting on it, and as I say, it just gets boring listening to it. So yeah, I don't know. That annoyed me, and I think the more I listen to him, the more I actually see of him, the more I just don't like him, and I do wonder whether or not over long term if he's actually going to be any kind of success there or whatsoever. Jury's out on him anyway. Next up, obviously, we've got a massive game against Sunderland tomorrow. Another 3:00 game on a Saturday. Could you believe it? Absolutely love them. I love them. And a chance for Arsenal to go 9 points clear. It comes not for granted, but we've got to do the job. If we get 9 points before Man City have to travel to Anfield, which will be a blockbuster game. I think that'll be a very good game, and one that could be very, very dodgy for Man City. Injuries and the player management, I think, is probably going to be our next kind of port of call. And obviously, Saka is an interesting. I think he was kept from playing in the semi-final just because it was a little bit too early. So obviously he was out from the weekend with a little niggle in the warm-up against Leeds. Is he going to play on Saturday? I don't believe he was in training either this week. So I'm on the impression that he isn't going to make it. Just trying to see if I can kind of get any kind of inkling as to what's going on. But I know there was also a warning about Timber not playing as well, or being in training. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Look, it isn't a no longer will he play conversation. It is now, how do we protect him? That's the conversation now, and we look at it now and we think, going back a couple of years, 2-3 years, he has to play. We've got no one to back him up, to help him. The load on him, unbelievable. It was kind of, he had to play. There was no questions asked. Now with Madueke coming in, with the players that are around that can kind of play in different positions, we have the control now. And the big thing about it, the importance is over the season, not just, say, the matches like coming up. Yeah, look, can we get everyone through the season? Arteta and the squad depth, he's got the trust there in that squad now. He believes in the squad, and this was something that was not there 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago. You know, from what he had to what we've got now, unbelievable. Look, Martin Odegaard's another one, and look, he had I don't know if it was illness or a little kind of niggle that he had against Chelsea midweek. I think it was illness. Again, you look at rhythm versus risk. I think he gets a bad bit in the press regards to how he is. I think there is a really, really, really good player in him as well, and I do think he's irreplaceable tactically. Yeah, I do think that he is a very controlled player. Obviously, not only say in those kind of in the defensive third, he looks after the ball. He kind of keeps the ball safe. Leadership is beyond, say, goals and assists. Yeah, it isn't just shouting and bellowing at players moving around. I mean, that's why you've got characters in your squad, in your team, all across the park. There'll be shouters that aren't your captain. Doesn't mean they have to be the captain, but that is what it is. But I think he's interesting. And when you talk about if he doesn't play, you look at Eze coming in. Again, this is where the risk. Look, we will remember Villa Park. Eze's got some learning to do, and that's not a negative. It's not shooting him down. All I say is that, yeah, we give players time when they move from another country, another league, to bed in and get settled. We kind of almost have to do that, I think, for players coming into the club as well. I mean, Eze for Crystal Palace is a different player to an Eze that plays for Arsenal. And I only say that because there are not many times that Crystal Palace would have been playing against teams playing a low block. So when Eze had the ball, there's lots of space, lots of areas to run into. And that's where you saw some really good moments from him. Some really good moments. goal-wise and creativity-wise. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Well, it's not a little bit. It's massively different in those congested areas. It's almost like he has to reinvent himself, understand the system he plays in, his roles within that team, the partnerships. It isn't as simple as just chuck him in and he'll just do the job. Yeah, it's a different way, a total different challenge to what he's been used to. So that will take a bit of getting used to. And I can't have everyone lambing on Arteta for not playing him, because again, he's got to trust everyone coming in. And if he's struggling to find or hit that kind of moment, and there's been still some moments with him, not being negative on it. I just say there's just a time where he's kind of almost just got to have that little bit of learning, I suppose, and that's like anyone. So yeah, it's going to be a real key thing now in the coming 2-3 months now, and the rotation within the whole squad. Yeah, it's gone now from the first 11, and we've got to make it about the first 18. I think there are going to be games where there'll be a proper rotation. Look, Wigan's going to be one of them. But again, little kind of tactical kind of changes. As I said, I like the whole thing about he'll play 45 minutes one player, do 45 minutes another. And it almost ticks them along rather than giving them a full load. And it gets them hungry, keeps them loose and game ready. And yeah, I really like to see Gyökeres get involved. I think he's been playing really well. I think the work rate he puts in for the team, I think it's really good. And Kai Havertz looks so sharp. And look, it's why we talk about getting fitness and getting everyone around and available. And again, he makes that first 11 into a first 18. If everyone is now popping in that squad whenever they come in, that is what we want. In the chat, in the comments, which player, I'll throw out to everyone, do you think will become crucial over the next month or so for the club moving forward? Obviously, it's going to be some big games, yeah, in Europe and back home. But which player do you think becomes crucial over that period? Let us know in the comments in the chat when you're watching it. Yeah, let us know. But yeah, obviously, transfer window obviously nailed shut, and look, we didn't sign anyone. I think there was a lot of kind of movement, a lot of noise about signings, and when you looked at it, there was a panic. There was like with regards to Marino obviously being injured now, which is very unlucky. Yeah, and you see him the way he was playing. I mean, he's probably one of our best performers in the way he come in and handled. I mean, I think the San Siro game, I thought he played fantastic. So I think, yeah, it wasn't a time to panic. I mean, look, you could have gone for something else or someone else. And again, it's for the sake of just anything, you know. It's not, I don't think we needed the signings as such. And yeah, it's ended. We didn't panic in January, and the balance is already strong. Summer strategy is all already under the way. I mean, that would have been the only change, I would say. If there was an opportunity for a summer move to be done in January, then I would have said, let's get it done. And if that can be done, then let's do it. Yeah, let's get it done, get it underway. Look, Man City spent 100 million trying to play catch up, and I put it there. Look, two good signings. Semenyo, we were rumoured to be interested in. I think that was a summer deal that we were potentially going to explore. There were links last summer, but that also means we have to get players out the door. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, I think, over the summer. But look, they got him in, and then they got in Gahi as well. And, yeah, look, it is what it is. But look, we picked up a couple of players for the academy, and yeah, that's all we need to do. I think. Look, we need to kind of improve the levels around Haaland and build that back up. Obviously, there's going to be a big change in how the fabric of Haaland and the academy is run. Obviously, Per Mertesacker leaving at the end of the year. And we need to get some continuity back in there again, and then have an actual understanding, a plan, what we need to do to bring on the next crop after your Dalmans, your Salmons, and all the ones that are kind of coming through and almost getting those kind of the minutes in the real time. So, yeah, not in for short-term fixes. There has to be a reason. There's got to be something to it. But yeah, it reeks of Arsenal acting like a club that trusts a process. Yeah, and yeah, don't deviate from there. Next up, just zooming out for a moment. We're not just progressing in one area. I mean, the women's team, again, they've had some ups and downs this season, but they just obviously become world champions, the inaugural world champions of the Women's League. So congratulations to them. And yeah, great moment to achieve it at the Emirates. So yeah, hats off to them. Yeah, really good. And the women's game matters more than we sometimes realise. I think just in general, I think just the whole kind of 360 around the club, male, female, really good to see. And with the levels of support as well, we're seeing week in, week out, supporting them, it's only going to make the club stronger and stronger across the board. So, yeah, I think we are coming to close. What I want to ask is, what are your realistic expectations? I know the media have kind of almost jumped on the whole bandwagon and say Arsenal's minimum expectations is the treble. And you see all these old ex-Man United players, and it's like, do you realise, like, it's only been done twice? And like two of the most decorated managers in English football have achieved it, and they're saying it's a minimum. And you look at it like that, and you're suddenly thinking, yeah, look, from going from the most boringest team to be champions to a minimum of a treble, it's laughable. Again, lots of external noise about what Arsenal should be aiming for. I mean, look, all we ask for, I think, is consistency in the league. And look, our position shows consistency. Yeah. The cup opportunities. Make sure we go far in or deep into those competitions. Look, we've hit one final. We're in the fourth round at home. Chance to make the fifth round. Success. Even going into Europe, obviously top of the league, waiting for the draw for the knockouts. Yeah, it isn't just one trophy. Success. It's sustained relevance, and it's something that Arteta has brought to the club now. We are now a relevant club, and that's what people absolutely hate. That's why we are so maligned by fan bases. The amount of meltdowns from fans of other teams, it's really, really funny. And nothing makes me happier than to see some blood boiling. And yeah, really, really funny to see. So the question for all of you in the chat, in the comments, if Arsenal win one trophy this season, is that progress? I mean, if it's, look, we know Champions League. If that's one, it will be progress. We've not done it. But would you rate the Premier League over the Champions League in terms of progress? What about the domestic cups? Let us know. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, in the comments. It'll be good to gauge how everyone's thinking. But yeah, as I say, we have got Sunderland at the weekend. A return for Granit Xhaka. I'm not sure if he's. I imagine he's playing. I haven't heard any injury kind of issues with him. It'll be nice to see him. I was always fond of him as a player. He always gave everything, and you've seen it doesn't change. He's that mentality player. Just because he was combative against us, I'm not going to use it as a tool to lambast him and cane him and say he's rubbish. It's not Arsenal. He was Arsenal, and he done real well. It was a moment of madness what he did at home, but who wouldn't react like that with what he had during that game? I mean, it takes me back to Abue at home, and when he got booed off the pitch, it was left the pitch in tears. And sometimes fans have to take a little look at themselves and suddenly just think how they handle themselves. But yeah, it'd be good to say hello, well done, thank you, but then go on and get the 3 points and move on, bed down for the weekend, and hopefully see Man City drop points. So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting this season. I think coming up now, I mean, look, the next 5 games are going to be absolutely critical. Yeah, really, really going to be telling, I think. And as I say, certainly getting onto that kind of Etihad game. I mean, if we can, I'll tell you what, 9 points going into that game, I'll tell you what, that would be a blessing. So, yeah, we can only hope. I'm not sure my heart's going to take it that much, but look, we're doing really well. We've just got to make sure we carry on. We go from strength to strength and make sure that, yeah, those injured players aren't pushed, aren't rushed, and we trust the squad. But last couple of questions for you. Does this Arsenal side feel different to you mentally? Yeah, I mean the mental side of things is just like we're almost wounded all the time with regards to past moments, which I won't go into. But do you feel different now? Also, how important is winning the Carabao Cup to this project? Let me know. And also, one final one. Should fans measure success in trophies or trajectory? Let me know again. Yeah, trophies matter. But again, success does come from being better than you have been, gradually, step by step. That is success. There's no regression just because you kind of go, either say you are expected to go top, but then you still at second. Yeah, 3 years on the trot. Yeah, all right, we've done it. Last season, injuries killed us. We didn't have the squad. I didn't class it as regression. I just classed it as bad luck. I would say with the amount of injuries that we actually had. And look, this season hasn't really helped injury-wise. Some big number of days that we've been without players, but we've got the squad to handle it. So that's the difference. There is progression. But when you talk about progression, success is slightly different. So what is it? Trophies or trajectory? I'm going trophies. Let us know. But that's going to do it for this extended North Bank newsroom. Yeah, normally it's live. Like I say, I want to get something out there early morning. So yeah, if you're watching this live later on, get involved in the chat. Your voices really do matter. Helps the show get interacting with each other. And yeah, there's more shows coming. There's more coverage as the season unfolds further. And as always, look, thanks for being part of In the North Bank, tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Come and support us on the watch-alongs during match days. Des and Richard put in a lot of time for the channel. And that is obviously massively appreciated. And look, we want more contributors to come and get involved. If you are a gooner, for the ladies, for the men, and you want to have your say, drop us a message, come and get involved. And yeah, love to have you on. So yeah, signing off this morning. I'm off for breakfast before work. And yeah, come on, you Gunners. And yeah, let's get 3 points. And let's hope Liverpool then do us a little favour on Sunday. So cheers, up the Arsenal, and come on, you Gunners.